Good morning everyone. I'm Uma Maheshwari. Today's topic is History of Microbiology Part 2. In Part 1 video we have discussed about discovery of microorganisms. In this video we will discuss about the conflict over spontaneous generation. The theory of spontaneous generation states that living organisms could develop from non-living matter. This can also be understood as microbes arise automatically in a decomposing organic matter. Though this theory was currently disapproved, we will see the experiments done on the basis of this theory, since those were included in this chapter. Now, scientists had discovered microorganism. The next step is obviously to study its characteristics. When they attempt to study microorganisms, they would like to know their origin. Here comes the crisis of spontaneous generation theory. Two ideas were prevalent among scientists. Some believed in spontaneous generation while others opposed it. Even Aristotle believed that some invertebrates arise from non-living materials. Many scientists did several types of researches and some of the important ones are explained here. Sir Francisco Redi was an Italian physician. He did experiments on decaying meat and its ability to produce maggots spontaneously. In his experiment, he took a meat in 3 jars. He kept the first jar open. He closed the second jar using gas and the third jar was sealed. Since the first jar is kept open, flies entered the jar and laid eggs on the meat. The flies were attracted to the meat in the second jar and laid eggs over the gas. The third jar remained undisturbed. Now the eggs got hatched into maggots in the first jar. In the second jar, some of the eggs which fell through the gas hatched into maggots over the meat. The third jar was devoid of maggots and eggs. Through this experiment, he proved that maggots appeared only from the eggs laid by the bees and not from the meat itself. The next experiment was done by Sir John Needham. He took the mutton broth in a flask and boiled it. After boiling, he sealed the flask. Later, the flask was contaminated with microorganisms. He concluded that organic matter is the reason for spoilage. Though it was not the correct response, it was his observation. The next person was Sir Lazzaro Spallanzani. He improved on John Needham's experiment. He took a glass flask with the seeds and water. He sealed the flask and placed it in a boiling water. No growth was observed in the flask. He concluded two things from his experiment. Number one, air is the agent that carries germs to the mutton broth. Number two, external air is required for the growth of organisms that are already present in the medium. The only difference between the experiments of Sir John Needham and Sir Lazzaro Spallanzani is that in the first case, the mutton broth was boiled and then sealed. But in the second case, the flask containing seeds and water was first sealed and then boiled. Theodore Schwann did the next experiment using air. He made the air to pass through a red hot tube and then the air is allowed to enter the flask containing heat sterilized medium. After some time, the medium remains sterile. George Friedrich and Theodore passed the air through a sterile cotton wool and then allowed it to enter a flask containing heat sterilized medium. The medium was free from contamination. Meanwhile, Felix conducted many experiments and proved that microorganisms can grow even without the presence of air. Sir Louis Pasteur did a remarkable experiment. He took a swan neck flask filled with boiled mutton broth and allowed it to rest over time. Even though this swan neck flask was kept open, no change was observed. This is because germ particles in the air became trapped in the S-shaped bend, and hence the air, which is devoid of microbes, only entered the broth. So the boiled broth is not contaminated. Later, when he broke open the neck of the flask, microorganisms entered and started spoiling the broth. Through this experiment only, Pasteur disproved spontaneous generation theory. Inferences of his experiment are: germ particles in the air caused the spoilage of broth. Life cannot arise from nothing. That is, living organisms cannot emerge from non-living organisms. Sir John Tyndall in 1877 says that dust carries germs, and if dust was absent, broth remains sterile even if it is exposed to air. He also showed evidence for heat-resistant forms of bacteria. And the last one is Sir Ferdinand Kohn. He also had discovered heat-resistant bacterial spores. Thank you. And the next topic is about germ theory of diseases and Koch postulates. Stay tuned for part 3.